As we move through life and get older, we naturally become more selective about the relationships we choose to nurture and the environments we immerse ourselves in. In the later years of life, particularly between the ages of 55 and 80, the need for peace, respect, and meaningful interactions becomes much more significant than the desire for an abundance of social connections. While relationships with neighbors and family members can offer companionship and support, they can also bring unnecessary stress and emotional strain if not managed carefully. It is essential to create and maintain a balance that fosters emotional well-being, especially as we age and our need for tranquility intensifies. During this time, we are often more inclined to protect our personal space, maintain privacy, and seek out environments where we can enjoy a calm and secure atmosphere. Our home, in particular, transforms from just a place to live into a sanctuary. After years of hard work, raising families, and weathering life's ups and downs, the pursuit of peace and stability becomes a priority. However, the people around us, whether neighbors or family members, can have a significant influence on our daily lives. These relationships, if not handled carefully, may become sources of unnecessary tension, frustration, and even emotional drain. In this phase of life, maintaining positive, peaceful relationships with those around you becomes especially important. Not everyone, however, is conducive to the serene environment we seek. There are certain types of neighbors and relatives who, intentionally or unintentionally, can disrupt our peace and well-being. Being aware of these types of people and learning how to manage those relationships is crucial to preserving our mental and emotional health. One type of neighbor to avoid, especially as we grow older, is the intrusive gossip. These individuals often cross boundaries and push the limits of privacy. While curiosity is natural, intrusive gossips tend to go too far, constantly asking personal questions about your health, finances, or family matters. They may try to dig for sensitive details and then spread those details, often exaggerated, throughout the neighborhood. Such behavior can cause misunderstandings, invite unwanted attention, and disrupt the peace in your life. For those who value privacy and security, this kind of behavior can feel invasive and unsettling. These neighbors may drop by unannounced, hang around your property, or make offhand remarks about your personal life. Over time, their constant probing can make you feel less at ease in your own space. Protecting your privacy from such neighbors is essential to maintaining a sense of safety and serenity. Dealing with an intrusive gossip requires a balance of politeness and assertiveness. It's important to limit the personal information you share with them. Keep conversations casual and centered on neutral topics, such as the weather or local events. If they press for more details, steer the conversation in another direction or give vague answers. If they stop by uninvited, kindly excuse yourself and reinforce that you value your privacy. Over time, they may realize that you are not open to sharing personal details and may stop pushing boundaries. Another type of neighbor to be cautious of is the self-serving neighbor. These individuals may initially seem friendly and warm, but their friendliness is often conditional based on what you can do for them. A self-serving neighbor will frequently ask for favors, such as collecting their mail, watering their plants, or helping with chores, but rarely, if ever, offer anything in return. Their requests may start small, but they can escalate over time, leaving you feeling taken advantage of. For older adults who may not have the same physical energy or time to spare, the added burden of constantly helping a self-serving neighbor can become overwhelming. Over time, this one-sided relationship can lead to feelings of frustration, resentment, and exhaustion. It's important to recognize when a neighbor's requests are becoming too frequent or unreasonable, and to set firm boundaries. Managing a relationship with a self-serving neighbor requires establishing limits. If you notice that they only approach you when they need something, don't feel obligated to always say yes. Politely decline their requests and suggest alternatives if necessary. You can also express that you are not available to help at this time. Setting boundaries and standing firm will help protect your energy and preserve your emotional well-being. A self-serving neighbor may either start to respect your limits or look elsewhere for help, but in either case, you will have created a more balanced dynamic. Finally, be wary of the disruptive neighbor. These individuals may engage in behaviors that interfere with the peace and quiet of the neighborhood, affecting not just you, but everyone around them. They might host loud parties, play music late into the night, or neglect the upkeep of their property, which can detract from the overall appearance and safety of the community. Some disruptive neighbors may even ignore common courtesies like keeping shared spaces clean or being mindful of noise levels. The impact of disruptive neighbors can be significant, particularly for those who value a serene and calm environment. Continuous disturbances can lead to stress, disrupt sleep, and negatively affect your overall sense of well-being. If you find yourself living next to a neighbor whose actions are repeatedly disturbing the peace, it's essential to address the situation. Dealing with disruptive neighbors involves calmly and assertively addressing the issue. If their behavior is affecting your life or the neighborhood's quality of life, it's important to have an honest conversation with them about how their actions are impacting your well-being. Sometimes, simply expressing your concerns can lead to a change in behavior. However, if the disturbances persist, you may need to escalate the situation by involving community or building management, or even seeking legal advice if necessary. As we get older, maintaining peace and tranquility in our lives becomes a higher priority than ever before. The people we surround ourselves with, whether neighbors or relatives, play a crucial role in helping or hindering this goal. By carefully managing relationships with difficult neighbors, setting clear boundaries, and prioritizing our well-being, we can ensure that our later years are filled with the peace and serenity we deserve. Picture yourself enjoying a peaceful afternoon at home, curled up with a book, only to have that quiet disrupted by loud music blasting from a neighbor's house. Or perhaps you return from a day out to find the shared outdoor space littered with trash. Over time, these interruptions can erode your sense of tranquility, even within the confines of your own home. For older adults who cherish peace and quiet, these disruptions can escalate into feelings of stress or anxiety, making daily life less enjoyable. Addressing a disruptive neighbor calls for a certain level of diplomacy, especially if you want to resolve the issue without creating unnecessary tension. The first step is to approach the situation calmly and respectfully. Instead of launching into a confrontation, try to express your concerns in a way that emphasizes the shared space. For example, you could say, "I've noticed that the loud music at night sometimes makes it difficult for me to get a good night's sleep." Or, "The communal area is important to all of us, and it would be great if we could all make an effort to keep it tidy." Often, neighbors aren't aware of the negative impact their behavior has on others and may be more than willing to adjust if approached politely. However, if this conversation doesn't result in any changes, it might be worth involving a third party, such as a neighborhood association or property manager, to help mediate the situation. In cases where it's clear that your neighbor isn't going to change, consider taking steps to protect your own peace of mind. Simple solutions like soundproofing your windows, creating a cozy, quiet retreat within your home, or planning peaceful outings away from the noise can help reduce the impact of these disturbances. Ultimately, remember that while you can't control your neighbor's actions, you do have control over your environment and how you respond. Your home is your sanctuary, and it's worth taking the necessary steps to preserve it as a place of comfort and peace. Embracing the idea of setting clear boundaries can also help you maintain balance. While positive relationships with neighbors can enrich our lives, it's crucial to be mindful of the energy you invest and the boundaries you establish. Sometimes, keeping a respectful distance is the best way to maintain harmony without sacrificing your peace. A well-maintained boundary helps ensure that relationships stay respectful and balanced. After all, the old saying, "Good fences make good neighbors," serves as a reminder that clear boundaries are key to fostering respectful, harmonious connections. Your home should be a place of warmth, security, and tranquility, untouched by unnecessary stress. Family relationships, while often some of the most meaningful in our lives, don't always bring the support and warmth we expect. Some family members, despite the deep bonds shared, can cause emotional strain or impose undue demands. As we grow older, it becomes increasingly important to assess which family connections nurture our well-being and which might require some distance. Here are 3 types of relatives who may require a more mindful approach to preserve personal peace. First, consider the borrower who never repays. Financial matters among family members can be tricky, as they are often tied to trust and mutual support. Unfortunately, some relatives take advantage of this trust, borrowing money without the intention to repay or showing little appreciation for the help they've received. These individuals may rely on family connections as an excuse to delay repayment, knowing that family members are often hesitant to demand their money back. For older adults, especially those on fixed incomes or living off savings, unpaid debts can create unnecessary financial strain and emotional stress. It's important to set clear financial boundaries within the family to avoid damaging relationships. If you're considering lending money to a relative, take into account their history with repayment and their current financial situation. If you do decide to lend, approach it with a clear agreement on the terms, as you would with any financial transaction. Alternatively, consider offering support in ways that don't involve lending money, such as helping them access financial resources or offering budgeting advice. By protecting your finances, you're not only safeguarding your own well-being, but also demonstrating the importance of maintaining healthy, balanced relationships. Choosing not to lend doesn't mean you don't care. It simply means that you're prioritizing the integrity of the relationship and your own financial security. Second, there's the self-absorbed relative who seems to view the family as nothing more than an audience or a resource for their personal needs. These individuals often lack empathy and are quick to ask for support, but rarely offer any in return. Conversations with them are often one-sided, focused entirely on their own challenges or complaints, with little regard for the well-being of others. For older adults who value balanced, respectful relationships, dealing with a self-absorbed relative can feel emotionally draining. Constantly giving without receiving can lead to feelings of frustration and depletion. These relatives may demand your attention or assistance without considering your own needs or limitations. To preserve your emotional energy and maintain your peace, it's important to set boundaries. Self-respect is essential in managing these relationships. Don't hesitate to express your own needs and limitations. If necessary, have a candid conversation with the relative, helping them understand the importance of mutual respect and consideration in relationships. If they are unwilling to make changes, it might be time to limit your interactions to protect your well-being. Finally, there's the disruptive presence, the relative who can't seem to respect personal boundaries or the needs of others. Managing these types of relationships can be challenging, but establishing clear boundaries can help ensure that your emotional health isn't compromised. A well-balanced family dynamic requires a sense of reciprocity and mutual respect. Distancing yourself from relatives who don't respect these principles isn't about rejecting family. It's about prioritizing relationships that bring value and peace into your life. In the end, relationships with neighbors and family should contribute to your sense of well-being, not take away from it. By recognizing the importance of boundaries and focusing on the relationships that nurture you, you can create a space for peace, independence, and emotional fulfillment. Maintaining peace of mind is essential for creating space in our lives to foster meaningful relationships and experiences. When we are at peace, we can invest our time and energy in the connections that bring us joy and balance, making each interaction more rewarding and fulfilling. It's about giving ourselves permission to prioritize what truly matters. Family is often a cornerstone of support, especially when times get tough. However, there are situations where some family members, though seemingly in need, fall into a pattern of dependency. These relatives might rely on others indefinitely, without ever making an effort to improve their own situations. While they may genuinely require assistance at times, this reliance can quickly evolve into a habit that burdens those who are more self-sufficient. A family member who leans too heavily on others might lack the motivation to change their circumstances, whether it's finding employment, improving financial habits, or managing their personal life. The unfortunate result is that their dependency begins to drain the resources of the more stable members, and it can sometimes feel like their situation is not improving despite the constant support. While it is natural to want to help, continually doing so can chip away at your emotional and financial well-being. If you find yourself providing constant financial support, covering bills, or even offering your home as a refuge, it's easy to overlook the long-term effects. Over time, this arrangement may leave you feeling exhausted or resentful, especially if the dependent relative shows no effort to make changes. For those who have carefully planned for retirement or a peaceful, stable life, a dependent relative's needs can cause unexpected stress and disruption. One of the greatest gifts you can offer someone in need is the empowerment to become self-reliant. While helping during tough times is a noble act, allowing someone to continue in their dependency can prevent them from reaching their full potential. The most loving way to assist them is by establishing healthy boundaries that encourage growth and independence. When you decide to help a family member, it's important to set clear limits. Let them know that while you are available to support them, it comes with the expectation that they will take steps toward self-sufficiency. This could include helping them find work, offering advice on how to manage their finances, or connecting them with resources that can offer further assistance. But make it clear, your support is temporary. By helping them develop the tools to stand on their own, you not only preserve your own peace of mind, but also allow them to gain the confidence they need to thrive. Establishing boundaries is an act of self-respect. It allows you to protect your resources, both emotional and financial, while still providing guidance and support when necessary. This ensures that you can maintain a fulfilling life without feeling overwhelmed by the needs of others. You can help someone without enabling them, and by doing so, you are contributing to a healthier, more balanced family dynamic. Sometimes, the best way to maintain harmony is by embracing distance. Healthy relationships don't always mean closeness. In some cases, a bit of physical or emotional space can help preserve your well-being. By carefully choosing which family members you keep in your inner circle, you can ensure that those relationships remain positive and mutually supportive. When relationships become unbalanced or draining, it's okay to create distance for the sake of your own peace. This doesn't mean severing ties, but rather fostering relationships that contribute positively to your life. At every stage of life, maintaining your well-being should be a priority. By setting boundaries and being selective with your relationships, you create space for those that bring positivity and joy. It's a powerful way to set an example for others and remind them of the importance of cultivating relationships that support both your personal needs and the well-being of others. As we navigate through life, particularly as we age, protecting our peace becomes even more crucial. We can't always control the actions or attitudes of the people around us, but we can take steps to ensure that we live a balanced, fulfilling life. One way to do this is by setting clear boundaries with neighbors or acquaintances who may take advantage of our kindness or disrupt our peace. Here are a few strategies to handle challenging interactions gracefully. Creating a personal sanctuary in your home is another way to preserve peace. Even if some neighbors don't change, you can take steps to make your home a place of retreat. Soundproofing or setting up a quiet space can help you enjoy your environment, no matter what's happening outside your walls. These small adjustments give you control over your living space, helping you stay grounded and relaxed. Finally, don't underestimate the power of distance. Healthy relationships don't require constant closeness. By maintaining a respectful distance from neighbors, you can protect your peace and ensure that your interactions remain light and positive. There's nothing wrong with keeping boundaries that prioritize your own well-being. Living in harmony with others, particularly in later years, is all about striking a balance. By setting boundaries, creating sanctuary spaces, and practicing selective engagement, you can preserve the life balance you deserve. This doesn't mean avoiding connections, but rather shaping them to ensure they are supportive and contribute to a peaceful, joyful life. Your well-being is priceless, and by protecting it, you set a powerful example for others. Remember, each interaction is an opportunity to reinforce your values, to create an environment that nurtures you, and to inspire those around you. Embrace your space, cherish the connections that uplift you, and let peace guide your journey. If these ideas resonate with you, I'd love to hear what you think. Share in the comments one thing you plan to apply in your life, and let's continue supporting each other on this journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.